if you face any issue like internet connectivity or the still screen is still, then please let me know. Okay. You can see my screen. Okay, so since this is the very first class, so I'm just going to talk about the introductory parts, and I would like to start with the installations. And assuming that you are aware about the Python basics only, I'll be taking along the basics of Python and Selenium parallelly itself, so that once we are working with the Selenium concepts, the Python basics got clear if any case you have some doubt regarding them. Okay, so I have already divided the course into the day-wise structure. So in the first day, I'll be talking about the course FAQs that comes up, or the history of Selenium, the important installations, and working with the different IDEs that I'll be using. Whichever you prefer, fine. You just let me know. I'll be using that only. Okay. So now what I will be doing is, firstly, talking about the Selenium and which version we are going to use is, I'll show you over here on the official website of Selenium. Now Selenium is an automation testing tool which helps you to automate browser, right? Okay, it's just opening. And if we talk about how Selenium has involved over here, it says Selenium automates browser, and it also helps you to automate some administrative works like we used to do some selection of some filling up some forms and all that. Selenium can help you in do that. Okay, now talking about the versions which we are going to use. Since Selenium is available in different languages, it's available in Java, it's available in Python, Ruby, C Sharp. So for all the different languages, the different versions are there, and they have the stable versions. It's taking some time to load the downloads link. Just wait. Yeah. So over here, as per the languages, the stable versions are given. In case of our case, the Python, the stable version is 3.141.0, and we are going to work with the stable version only. Recently a new version has came up, but that version is having some instability, because of which I'm not choosing that throughout the course. Okay. And to work with this particular course, there are some components that we need to study. The first component that we need to know is the programming language, which in our case is Python. So firstly, we'll see that how to get Python into our system, what are some of the basics, and if you are not aware about the basics, from where you can get them practiced. Okay. And the second component that you need to learn is Selenium itself, which will be going parallelly. So talking about the first one, the Python one. So to get Python into your system, you can just go over to the browser, the favorite browser of yours, and you can just search for download Python. And the very first link that you will be getting on the search page, that is python.org. This is the official website which provides you the language Python. Okay. Now once this page is loaded, the very first thing that you see on this page is the latest version. Currently it's 3.7.8, I guess. Sorry, 5. Just wait. Yeah. So over here, this is the official website of Python. Now over here, the latest version that has came up is 3.8.5. According to your system and the configuration, if you have Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac, any of the OS you have, you can just go over to the link, and once you go to the link, all the stable releases which has been released by Python, the Python developers, they are over here. It is always suggested to work with the latest version, but if you are not interested in working with the latest version, you can work with one step older, one version older Python as well. That's fine. There is no issue. If you want to get the recent one, then 3.8.5 version is over here. You can click on it, and this will start downloading a zip file, a exe file into a system, which is way too easy to install. In any case, you want to look for another versions. This is the recent version 3.8.5. Before that there was 3.8.4 as well. If you get it downloaded from this page, you have to get the executable installer over here. Fine. Once you'll get it according to your system configuration, this is for Windows only. If you'll click over at the first page on Linux or Mac, then according to those operating systems it will be giving you. Once the installer is installed into your system, is downloaded into your system, you just need to run that exe. But while you are installing Python into your system, you need to be careful about one thing. That is, I'll just show you. There is a checkbox that you need to check. So if you'll check that checkbox, the path of Python where it's going to be installed is going to be automatically added into the system variables. You don't have to go manually and add it into the variables. Fine. In any case, this particular checkbox I'm talking about, that add Python version to path. If you'll check this, automatically wherever your Python is being installed into your system, the by default path will be given over here. That will be added to the system variables and you are good to go. In any case you forget to check this checkbox, then in that case you have to go manually into the system variables and you have to add it by your own. That's what you have to be careful about, that do check this checkbox. Also, if you want to change the installation path to some another path, you can just go into the customize installation and choose the location whichever you want to. Otherwise, what is recommended is let the default position be there in which the installation is being showing. After clicking on install now, click on next, 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 and your Python will be installed into your system. Here the window will be coming up that the setup is successful. How to check whether the Python is properly installed into your system or not is very simple. Just go to the command prompt in any of the OS you have. Just go over there and look for and just write Python. If you get these arrows over here, these three arrows, that means that you are in the Python console now and you can start coding over here. But you need not to worry, we are not going to code anything on the command prompt. Just some of the running and functions we will be performing over here. Rest there is no code that is going to be written. After checking this, you can just come out of the Python console by giving the exit command and you're back to your command prompt. This is just for the sake of information. I'm telling you that in any case you are not able to find where actually your Python has been installed, you forgot the path and you require that to add it somewhere. So you can just use the command where Python. This question is usually asked when people are not able to find the path of their Python language where it's installed. So once you look for this command, it will give you two paths, one for the script path and one for the exe. So both of these are over here. Okay, now this was about the first component that you need to learn about Python. The prerequisite is done. Now where you have to learn it from. So over on the website, the first module starting from introduction to Python till writing into Excel files. These all modules are for the Python basics only. Inside these modules, everything starting from the basic syntax of Python till how to write into the Excel file using the Python commands is covered, including the topics like encapsulation, inheritance, object-oriented programming. Likewise, all the topics are covered. So if you are new to Python or to programming language, just first do watch these videos. Then only you will be understanding how the syntax is going on. Okay. Then after comes up where you have to write the code. Fine. So we will be choosing IDE to write the code. Now which IDE? IDE is basically integrated development environment where we can keep our code safe and a separate workspace is created. The famous IDE to work with Python is PyCharm. Now PyCharm is very famous and it also comes in two variants. One is the paid one, paid or professional one, and one is a free version, that is community version. So these two have different facilities. They provide different facility. The paid one provides different and free provides different. So firstly we'll talk about PyCharm, to that how you'll get it into the system and how which particular one will be the best one. So again, go back to the favorite browser whichever you like and look for download PyCharm. The very first link on the search page, jetbrains.com, this is the site which provides the IDE. The very first page you will see on this website will tell you the two versions that I am talking about, that is the free version and the paid version. So just wait a minute, it's just loaded. So over here, these are the two versions. Depending upon your operating system, you can get it into your system. If you have Mac or Linux, you can just go over to these links. For Windows, you can just see over here. The professional version, this is a paid version and it provides you the additional support for HTML files, JavaScript files and the database, the SQL support that it provides. So if you are interested to work with these additional supports, you can go for the free trial and check for that and pay the amount to get it into the system. Otherwise, if you are only interested in Python development only, you have to just work with Python. Then community version is very good to work with. It's very easy to learn as well. So you can just go on to this download link over here and the exe, the executable file will be downloaded into your system. Okay, once the executable file is downloaded into the system, you just need to run that on your system and the PyCharm will be installed. It will ask you for a default workspace that where actually you want the PyCharm to be keeping your code, that you need to inform, and it's good to go. Okay. Now over here I already have downloaded PyCharm into my system. So I'll show you what kind of screen it's going to show you for the recent version. This is 20.2, which is the recent version for PyCharm. And it takes some time to open, around 10 to 15 seconds it takes to load PyCharm properly. So you need to be little patient for this. Okay. This is some previous project that I was working on. So I'll close it and I'll show you. So after installation, once you have installed your PyCharm into the system, this kind of screen you are going to get. So to create a project in PyCharm, you just need to go on to new project. After clicking on this new project, give any name to your project, whichever you want. Like by default, it's taking Python project. So I let it be Python project only. Then after, you have to set the interpreter over here. Now remember, while the installation of Python was being done, I told you to check the checkbox. If you have checked the checkbox and you will go over here in the interpreter, it will automatically pick the Python from the system variables and will set it over here. If you haven't checked the checkbox, then you have to manually enter this path yourself. Okay, this is the use of checking that checkbox. After doing this, you just need to click on create and your project will be settled up for you. It needs to create some particular environment or something, and it's good to go. So it's taking some time. Will let it complete. So a PyCharm project has been loaded. This is a default file that opens up. You can close it. There is no requirement to keep it open. The left hand side is the workspace. Whatever your files and packages you will be creating, that all will be shown up over here. And below is the console, which is going to come up once you write some code. And at that time you will be able to see the console. And this gray area that you can see over here, this is your workspace, and over here you will be writing the code. Okay. Now over here in the Python project, I'll just for displaying you, I'll just will create a Python file. Now if you'll go for this HTML file or the SQL support, if you have taken the community version, your PyCharm may crash also. So if you have not taken that particular version, so don't just go into this. Okay, go for the Python file, create the Python file. I'll just will make it as demo1. So over here, this is my workspace. I can write anything over here. I can code anything over here. For the start, I'll just will have a print statement over here. Print, and I'll give this statement like my first module in PyCharm. Now module term may be confusing over here. Module term is not that anything. It's just a different word for a Python file. Okay. Whichever Python file you are being creating, we call it module over here. So that's why I'm telling you that you don't get confused in module, what module is. So now, right now I have written this code. I want to run it. So running is also easy. Right click over at the workspace. You will get the option of run demo1. The name of your file, whichever you will be giving. You can run it from here. And you can see the console comes up and the same print statement that I have given has been printed over here. Similarly, you can run it from the Project Explorer as well. Whichever file you want to run, right click and run that particular file. So this way it's coming over here. Okay. Now any doubt between this part what we have covered till point? Any doubt, any question, any clarification you want? All good so far. Okay. Now this was about first ID. This IDE is very vast. As soon as we keep on working with this, then only I'll be able to explain you that how it's different from the another IDE. Okay, so I'm not going into the details of this right now. This was all for the introductory part. Now moving further to the second IDE. Now second IDE is very famous, that is Eclipse. If you have ever been into the programming part and have worked with Java, then you must have heard about this term. So this is commonly used with Java language. But if you want, you can make Eclipse work with Python as well. Just what you need is a plugin. A plugin will be required to make Eclipse compatible to work with Python. Okay. So looking for how to get Eclipse into your system, go to your favorite browser, whichever you want, and look for download Eclipse. The official website is eclipse.org. Go into that link, the first link, and this kind of page is going to be displayed over at this website. Now what happens in Eclipse is that there are different packages available. If you want to work with Eclipse like a normal programmer, you don't want to go into the web development. So for that, you have this particular package, Eclipse IDE for Java developers. If you are interested in creating a full-fledged website, then this particular package is for you. Then I have C package for specifically for C and C++, for PHP, and so on. I have number of packages available. But if you'll click on any of the link over here, any of the package over here, this particular site is going to give you a full installer in which all the packages that are being displayed over here are going to be available. So from there also you can select it. Like in my case, I already have it over here, the installer. I'll show you. Now it takes some time. The Eclipse installer takes some time while installing your Eclipse as well, while making it ready to use as well. It takes time. Also, it depends upon your internet that how strong it's giving. So at that time, installation time, it's going to affect you. Otherwise, it itself takes some time. So as I said, that all the packages that are displayed on the website are over here as well. So you can get any package from here as well. There is no restriction. You can get any one. So I would prefer working with the enterprise Java developers. So I'll go for it. And after that, it's going to ask for two requirements. First is the Java itself. It requires a JVM into your system, because as I earlier told you that Eclipse is famous to work with Java, right? So you need to have JDK files into your system so that Eclipse can run. If you don't have it into your system and you want to work with Eclipse, you have to get JDK first into your system. How to get JDK and which version you need to get is very simple. Just go over to your favorite browser first, and over here you need to look for JDK 8. Now why I'm saying JDK 8, because JDK 8 is the stablest version out of all the versions that have released till far. JDK 14 has been released latest time, but the stablest one, and the support goes on till 2030. So this is the best version of JDK. You can just look for JDK download, and oracle.com provides you the JDK development kit. Just go over here, and according to your system configuration, you need to get JDK into your system. Over here, there are two things it provides. One is the development kit and one is the demos and sample. You need to get JDK development kit. And according to your system, you can see over here, it provides you for Linux, for Mac, for Solaris, for Windows. According to that, you can get it. Once you'll click on this link, it will take you to the login page of Oracle. So you need to create a Oracle account that's free. You can sign up for free on oracle.com. There's no charges. Once you log in, this link is automatically going to download a exe into your system. Okay. Once it's done, it's a heavy file. It will take some time to get downloaded. Okay. Once it's done and installed into your system, environment variables will be set. Then after, you have to go over here in the installation of Eclipse. Over here you have to provide the JDK path and then click on install. Otherwise, if you don't have JDK into your system, it's going to give you an error. And if you are not correctly giving the path, then Eclipse will not work. Why I'm telling you this? Because this has happened with number of peoples that they are not able to run Eclipse only because JDK was not into the system properly installed. Fine. Once it's given, click on install. It will take around 2 to 3 minutes. And then after, your Eclipse will be launched. I'll show you the recent version, how it looks like. I have it in my system already. So this kind of screen it's going to show you when your full installation will be completed. And also, it is also going to ask you for a workspace where all your code are going to be saved. Whatever you will be writing, they will be, at this location it will be saved. By default, it gives you something else. You can change it as well from browse option and click on launch. Once you click on launch, and if you have been working with Eclipse already, then you must have observed that throughout the Eclipse you are not going to get any option to create Python file. Okay, so over here, if I'll click on this new, you can see over here that I am not getting any option to create Python file, or I'm not getting any option to of my PyDev block also. Over here it's have, because I have done the configuration already. But by default, if you install it and see and try to create the Python project, it's not going to help you. For this, you have to have a plugin. You have to install a plugin inside Eclipse, and then only you will be getting that option to create Python projects, files and packages. To get the Python into your system, the plugin into your Eclipse, go over to this help option. Go to the install new software. And over here you need to provide the URL of the PyDev website, that is HTTPS. The full URL you have to give with this HTTPS as well. www.pydev.org/updates. This whole you need to give, then only it's going to pick it up. Otherwise, it's not going to pick it up anything. Okay. Then these two things, it will be providing you information that these are the two blocks that will be installed in your Eclipse. After this, now I already have it, so that's why it's not giving me any option to click on next. But in your case, it will go on and will click on and will collect all the requirements and dependencies and will highlight this option of next. You just need to click on next, 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 and your software will be installed, the plugin will be installed into your system. Okay, let me just have this URL only and then try. Yeah, still I don't have that option, so I won't be able to show you, but you just need to check these two boxes, click on next, accept the conditions, and done. The installation of the plugin will take around 5 to 10 minutes, and here in the console the information will be given that how much is it installed, how much is remaining. After that, in between the installation, it's going to give you a warning as well that the plugin you are using is not authorized by Eclipse. Do you still want to continue or not? So if you want to work with Eclipse using Python, just click on install anyway and let the process complete. Once the installation will be completed, the Eclipse will ask you to restart so that the changes can be applied. Once Eclipse is restarted, you will get the option of PyDev folder. In others, you will get the option of this folder. Okay. Now by this particular option, you can create anything. You can create a Python project, you can create a Python module, a Python package, or anything that you want. So I'll be creating a Python project for the time, and I'll name it as let's say Python project itself. Okay, after that, now over here, in your case, if you're making the first Python project, then it's going to ask you to have the interpreter over here. Because by default interpreter will not be settled, you have to click on it. You will be clicking on this link. While installation of Python, if you have checked the checkbox, you will get an option of config first in path. Just click on that. The Python path will be automatically picked up and will be set over here. If you haven't, then you have to manually configure it and pass on the path. Okay, my case already it has been picked up from the system variables and it has been taken as Python itself. After that, click on finish and your project will be here. In this project, you can create anything, a file, a project, a package, anything that you want. You get all the options over here. So I'll be creating a small module, a file, Python file, and I'll name it as demo1. This dialog box is going to help you to read about the plugin that you have used. You can just click on show letter and it will not appear up again and again. Okay, just wait. Till the time it's completing the procedure of closing this pop-up. Any doubts or any questions in the Eclipse installation from your end? Your voice is not audible, Alok. Yes, now you are audible. Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah, currently we are also updating the modules and I am trying to make the codes both in Eclipse and both in PyCharm because people are saying PyCharm is not being used. So I'm trying to make it both so that both changes you can feel yourself what are the changes in both Eclipse and the PyCharm because these two are currently being in use for the purposes. So you can tell me yourself. See, it totally depends upon the company because Anaconda, Spider, and PyCharm, They are equally at the equal positions, and three of them provides you the compatibility to learn new things and can make your code perfect as well. Like a small warning also is going to affect your code. Like in Eclipse also, I'll show you some things. Like there is there is naming conventions, right? You have to name the project and modules in a proper way. In Eclipse, if you'll just don't follow them, it's not going to affect it. But if you'll do the same in PyCharm, it's going to give you a warning that the convention is not correctly followed. So these three platforms, Anaconda, Spider and PyCharm, they gives you the accuracy to write the code. So that's why any of the three, if you are working with, they are perfectly fine. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it's good to learn new tools. Also, if you'll try to work with Eclipse as well. Okay. 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 Okay, no problem. We'll continue with PyCharm in the course throughout so that you could learn more about the PyCharm. Okay. But for the sake of information, I'm just telling you that how PyCharm and Eclipse will be different from each other. Okay. So the same way I had done in PyCharm, I have given a print statement. Same way I'm going to give it in the Eclipse as well. First module in Eclipse. So this is done. You can simply just go over the workspace, right click and click on Python run. This is the output that you get in the Eclipse. This is something that you have to know. Then is the information that if any case, as you are saying that you have a number of workspaces, the same way we create a number of projects. And at some time we get confused that what's the physical location of that particular module. So that also you should be able to know that how will you get to a physical location. In Eclipse it's easy, just click on the module name whichever you want to look for, go to the properties and this will give you the physical path of the module in your system. So you can just go to this option and it will take you directly to that location. In the PyCharm also you have the same kind of facility. Just go over to the module name and over here it gives you the file path as well if you just want to know the file path, or also if you want to just go to the physical location, just go to this show in Explorer and this will take you to the physical location like it has done right now. So I can look for the whole path at what's on and I can work it. This is something very important because sometimes we need to give some paths. Okay, so this was about installing the programming language, the place where we're going to write the code, the IDEs, and now moving to the heart of the course, that is Selenium itself. So installing Selenium is very easy. Just I'm going to take you to the official website of Selenium. And over here if you'll go to the download link, this gives you a command. This is a command that has been given to you, pip install Selenium. Now the question comes up that where we have to give this command and what this command is. So pip is basically this pip word. This is basically a package manager which comes with Python language itself. If you are working with Python 3 or above, then this pip comes along. So you don't have to get it downloaded from somewhere else. And we are currently working with the recent versions. So this will be over here in your system by default. You just need to go over to your command prompt. And over here you just need to repeat this command, that is pip install Selenium. This is the only command that you have to give. Press enter and the Selenium package will be into your system. In my case it's already installed, so it's saying requirement already satisfied. In your case you just give this command and requirement and dependency will be collected, and Selenium will be installed into your system. Okay. For information's sake, if you have number of packages being installed using the package manager pip, you can look for all of them at one go by using the command pip list. This particular command will tell you all the packages that you have installed by using the package manager. Like over here, I have Selenium with this version. It gives me the information over here only. Okay. Now I have Selenium into my system, my IDEs into my system, and my programming language. Now a simple thing I'll be telling you, like how to check the version of the Selenium that we have installed. So in Eclipse I'll tell you first, and then I'll come to PyCharm because it's little addition of some steps over here. So that I'll just will tell you in time. Over here in Eclipse, what we do is just I'm creating a different module and I'll name it as basic. Now Selenium being an external package, so I have to get it imported from that location and load it into my current. No, you don't have to go to the link. You don't have to physically go to the link, Alok. Just go over to your command prompt. Open the command prompt that you have. And over here, just give the command. Is the Python already installed into your system? Maybe it's a possibility. If you have just downloaded Python into your system, then you must require a restart to apply the changes. Okay. Still, if you face any issue, yes, because pip is itself a part of Python only. It's a package manager provided by Python language. So you have a prerequisite. That's why I told you Python installation in the very first, because all the things are connected somewhere around. Okay. Now moving to the Selenium. Being an external package, I have to load it into my current module that I am working with. So I'll say import Selenium, the package that I have just installed. Import Selenium. Now the package I have installed has been loaded into my current module. I can work with it. So I'll take the print statement and I'll try to check the version of Selenium. So I'll say Selenium dot. I can check anything now. I can check the path where my Selenium has been installed. What's the name of that particular folder in which it has been kept? What's the file path? What's the dictionary path? And what's the version? So if I look for version and I save this and print it, so this is what I get as an output. The same way, if I want to check any another information, like I want to check the path, so I'll say Selenium dot path. So it will give me the path where it has been installed. Here it's the location that has been given. Fine. This is the way I can work with Selenium in Eclipse without going to any another point. Just load the package into the workspace and you are ready to go. But in case of PyCharm, it's a little different. It's not going to allow you to just directly use Selenium. Like if I'll create a different module and I'll name it as basic. And over here I'll say import Selenium. First of all, I'm not getting it into the options. I am not able to import it. Still, if I write it, it's going to give me an error. What the error is? Error is going to be displayed over here. No module named Selenium. That means in PyCharm IDE, this module has not been installed. Installed means it has to be added in this IDE as well. So how you are going to get that added? Just go over to this file option, settings. Then after, you will get the name of your project. This tab you will find project. and then you have to go to the project interpreter. Over here it's going to give you the details of all the packages which has been installed in the PyCharm itself. Right now pip is there because I have been working with Python over here, and there is some setup tools which is a pre-default package installed. Now I have to add Selenium over here. Just click on this plus button and look for the package you want to install, Selenium. So over here I get this option. Click on install package and this will install the Selenium package in PyCharm IDE. This will add this into PyCharm. Okay, it's done. It provides me the information installed successfully. Close. Okay. Now you can see over here the error has gone. There is no error that is left with. So now if I have to check again, here also I have to check what is the version, name, path, etc. That I can check here as well. Selenium.version. So if I run this, run basics, and this is the version that I got. Fine. So this is an additional step that if you have using external package in PyCharm, you have to get it manually added from this file setting options. This is going to be applicable on all the external packages that you are going to work with. Like in few coming times, we will be working with PyTest, the framework for writing test cases. That also you have to add it this way only. Otherwise, it's going to give you an error. Okay. Any questions, any doubts in this part? Okay, it's good. So this was all for this class. The introductory classes were too enough for installations and for some basics. I hope this was all clear. Still, if you face any issue in installations or in anything, you can just tell me in the next class, that is tomorrow, and we'll sort that out. Okay? Surely, surely. I'll just will let you know once the video is uploaded. The link will be shared with you. Okay? Okay. Thank you, so, and get your system ready so that we can proceed further with the topics. And I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. You too. Thank you.